All Creatures Great and Small has been renewed for a third and fourth series by Channel 5, it was announced on Saturday. Based on James Herriot's iconic collection of stories, the celebrated adaptation will return for 6 episodes over each season, as well as 2 Christmas specials. The upcoming episode will see the Skelldale House family in the spring of 1939 as the prospect of another world war looms large over the Dales. Change is afoot for the Darrowby residents, especially James and Helen, who are embarking on the next chapter of their lives as the wider world around them heads toward a period of great uncertainty. Returning to shoot in Yorkshire in the spring, returning for the third series is Nicholas Ralph as young vet James Herriot, and Samuel West as his mercurial mentor Siegfried Farnon. Anna Madeley will join them as the matriarch of Skelldale House, Mrs. Hall, whilst Callum Woodhouse is Siegfried's slowly maturing brother Tristan and Rachel Shenton is local farmer Helen Alderson. A characterful ensemble of farmers, animals and townsfolk living in the Yorkshire Dales in the 1930s will also return, including Patricia Hodge as the wonderfully sophisticated Mrs. Pumphrey, and her adored pampered Pekingese Trookie. All Creatures Great and Small made a triumphant return earlier this year with an average of 4.1 million viewers tuning in across the series run. On the double series order, Sebastian Cardwell, Channel 5 said, "It is clear that our viewers adore James Herriot's adventures in Darrowby and so do we at Channel 5. I am looking forward to us all being reunited with the Skelldale House family when Series 3 arrives on our screens this year." Executive producer Louise Pedersen, CEO of All 3 Media International, commented, "All Creatures Great and Small has proven to be a perfect tonic for audiences around the world seeking a top-quality production with a warm and positive view of the world. We are pleased to be able to offer these further series to build the brand globally." Author James Alfred White OBEFRCVS was a veterinary surgeon who graduated from Glasgow Veterinary College at the age of 23. He headed to a veterinary practice in Thirsk, Yorkshire, in 1940 where he fell in love with the Dales and the woman he would marry, Joan Danbury. White later wrote stories based on his own adventures as a young country vet, under the pen name James Herriot, quickly becoming one of Britain's best-loved authors. On the announcement of a third and fourth series, Jim White and Rosie Page, White's children said, "For many years the books of James Herriot have provided a source of comfort to tens of thousands of people worldwide at difficult times in their lives. With this recent adaptation of his books, a new generation has been introduced to the joys of the Herriot stories. We are delighted that there are to be at least 2 more series of All Creatures Great and Small, and we are especially pleased that the same excellent actors and producers are to be involved." Never out of print, the books have become a global cultural phenomenon with devoted fans around the world. With a sharp focus on the importance of community, James' World and Spirit is a very much needed antidote to the challenges of our modern times, transporting viewers to a gentle past, populated with wonderfully observed characters. The recent Christmas special saw the return to Darrowby for an extended festive episode after the success of the series 2 in the autumn. A newly engaged Helen and James realized they haven't agreed on where they are spending Christmas Day. Mrs. Hall had been expecting them at Skeldale and Jenny at Heston Grange, and the pair were reluctant to disappoint either of them. Elsewhere in the festive installment, a beloved local pet was taken seriously ill, so Siegfried brought them into the practice for emergency treatment. In the face of such an emergency, Helen ended up feeling like a spare part at the Skeldale Christmas party, but fellow farmer Dave Kitson ended up being the solution to Helen finding her place at Skeldale and the key to the animal's survival. It was also a challenging time for Tristan, as he learned that it might be time to take himself more seriously and reveal some important news. Meanwhile, a card from James' father asking him to phone them on Christmas Day left him on tenterhooks about whether he could make amends with his family.